Hello. Hello, YouTube. So, for all of you on Instagram, I am going live on YouTube tonight to talk about the topic of prioritizing marriage and family when you're young. And I know this is unpopular advice, especially for 2022. If you are on Instagram and you are not following me on YouTube, head on over to YouTube because this is where the conversation is going to be at tonight. Good evening, YouTube. We are going to talk a little bit about the idea of prioritizing marriage and family while you are young. And I know this is a very unpopular opinion. This is a very unpopular subject. I've gotten so much pushback about this. You have no idea. I've posted in some level up groups or femininity groups, and women darn near lost their mind. Okay. And I only had maybe 5 to 7% of women in those groups that actually agreed that, yes, I married young, I'm glad I did, or I'm young and I'm currently married, or I'm young and I'm, currently looking to have a baby soon. But we have to talk about this. Good day, Turquoise. Thank you so much for joining me here on Instagram. I'm so used to going on Instagram. On YouTube, thank you so much. But please, Instagram family, join me on YouTube so we can have a wonderful discussion about this. I really want to, more than anything, get some feedback. I want to get some feedback from ladies, especially if you are between the ages of 20 and 35. I would love your thoughts and opinions on if you are not prioritizing marriage in that age range, why not? Why are you not prioritizing marriage and family? Now, some women have told me, well, because I don't want to get married. I don't want to have children. Okay, and I get it. That's a great point that you do not want to, you don't think at this age that you want to have children or that you want to get married. But for those of you who might be interested in getting married or having children one day, like, what are some of the reasons why you would not prioritize? And remember, there's a big difference in me saying, get married, right? Get married. Because a lot of women have said, well, Anita, it's not that easy. It's not like there are a whole bunch of marriageable men running around, a whole bunch of men with their ish together. There's just not. Okay. And I understand that. But I said prioritize, meaning that I am living my life in such a way that I am getting ready for marriage, right? So I'm not having hot girl summers, winters, springs, or falls. I am not going on all these girls' trips and getting drunk and sleeping around and, hooking up. Like, that's not preparing you for marriage and family. Can I be honest? None of that is preparing you for marriage and family. Hi, Adrian. So, I'm just curious as to why you would not prioritize getting married or having a family if that's something you think, even let's say when you're 30, that you might want to do. Here is something that most young women don't think about. I'm going to keep it real with you all tonight. I'm going to be straight with you. But this is why a lot of women don't think about it. Okay? You're not thinking about it in your 20s. You think, well, I'm young, I want to have a good time. I just want to, people always say, I have to find myself. I have to, figure out who I am first before I can get married and figure out what I want. And I have to find myself and then I have to educate myself and I have to get somewhere in my career. I have to, my career is my priority. I got to take care of myself. So no, listen, Anita, I can't be prioritizing marriage. I can't be prioritizing children. I need to find myself and I need to educate myself and I need to get in my career and I need to work in that career. Okay. And I hear all of that. But here's the thing I'm going to tell you about. Let me take each one of those arguments one by one. So the number one, the finding yourself, you're going to be doing that until you die. Okay. I'm still trying to find myself and I'm 54. That's never going to end. You're still not going to know everything you need to know about you. Like, you're still going to be finding yourself, right? But it's the way you're going about it that's concerning me. This is what's concerning me about young women. It's the way that they're going about finding themselves. Because the truth is, when you're going out partying, when you're drinking, when you're smoking, when you're traveling, and there's nothing wrong with traveling. I love traveling. Y'all know that. But when you're just living this lifestyle nonstop, I can assure you, there's no spiritual work being done. There's no mental health work. There's no deep emotional work being done. Like, you're just, in my opinion, you're distracted. Like, you're not finding yourself because you're distracted. You're just distracting yourself. You're distracting yourself. And what I'm going to tell you about that is who you are and what you're about and what life is going to be about for you. It's going to catch up. Like, it's going to catch up. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to be 54. And I know that's shocking. I have young women tell me all the time, "Oh my gosh, why?" And then this one I really love, the scare tactic. "Oh, Anita, why are you telling us all these facts, these biological facts, trying to scare us? Oh, this is nothing more than scare tactic. I can have a healthy baby at 40. I can have a first child at 45. I can get married at," okay, I agree with that. You can get married at any age, right? So that's not my concern. You can get married at any age. You sure can. And you can attempt to have a healthy baby at any age. But I can assure you of this, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be expensive. It's going to cost you a whole lot of time and money and energy and heartache. But okay, instead of putting your boat in the river and just letting it go downstream with nature. Like, why would you fight against nature? That's what I'm trying to understand. Why would you fight the natural order of things so that you can prove to who about what? Like, what's that about? Okay. But everyone is trying so hard to be the exception and not the rule. But here's what I'm going to tell you. 20 years from now, when the majority of people, the majority of women who put off getting married and who put off having children, they may be in a position with a whole lot of other women. See, because now you're not the exception, you're the rule. You and a whole lot of other women may be in the same boat. And so all I'm asking you to do, if that's something you think you want to do, right? If you think you want to have a child one day or children, if you think you want to get married one day, then prioritize it. And that's on two fronts. On the first front, you are going to carry yourself in such a way to be found by your husband. You're going to do the work on the front end so you can have an amazing life on the back end. That's what that looks like. You're going to make sure you're not posting anything or putting videos out. You're not putting out content that is juxtaposed to you being someone's wife one day. That's what that looks like. Right? And if you're going to have a good time girl window, make it a very small window. Okay. My good time girl window, and it wasn't what y'all doing today, because this was back in the 80s and the 90s. Okay. What y'all doing today is crazy. It wasn't that kind of good time girl window, but it was a very small, going to frat parties and, having a few drinks and, having a little Saturday now and again, but very small window. It was a very small window. I want to say the window was maybe 2 to 3 years, maybe 4 years that was happening. And outside of that, I was like, well, that's that. I need to start looking for a husband. I need to start prioritizing marriage. I need to start prioritizing family. I need to make sure that my brand aligns with that, because that was my ultimate goal. And so I got to make sure that my brand aligns with being found by a husband. Okay. But 2, 3 years, y'all, it really was 2, 3 years. I think in them 2, 3, 4 years, I went to Freaknik twice. Y'all, some of y'all don't even know about that. That's I'm telling on myself with my age. But I went down to Atlanta to Freaknik twice, and went to Beach Week, went to a couple of things like that, did some frat parties in college, had a little something to drink, had a little, that's it. 2 to 3 years of that. And I was like, well, that's that. It's time to start looking for a husband, start prioritizing marriage and family. Here are some reasons why that's important to do when you're a little younger. Okay, so for all my ladies who may be watching this, or maybe you're watching me on Instagram, and I want you to comment if you are over the age of 30. If you're 30 and up, right? Here is the truth. And I want you ladies to let me know if I'm onto something. So as you get older, right? As you get older, 30, 35, and up, it gets harder to make girlfriends. It gets harder to meet men like that are about something. Like, can we keep it real? When I was in college, I was dating the cream of the crop. Like, I was dating senator sons. I was dating, CEO sons. I was dating old money people's sons, like Martha's Vineyard. I mean, I was dating the cream of the crop. Like, these are men on college campuses that are there to, educate themselves, further their career, be about something. Like, all the men that was on a college campus was about something, right? They was all about something. Try being around that today. I'll wait. Where can you go today at 30 where you can go into a room and all the men in there are about something? I'll wait. It's hard. It's real hard. But when you're in college, when you're in graduate school, and you're amongst men that are actually in school, they're actually trying to make something of themselves. These are your potential husbands. But yeah, if you over 30, 35, let me know. Let me know where you're going and you're meeting men that are about something. Please let me know. Like, let me know where this magical place is, 30, 35, 40, where you can just walk in a room and like it's full of men that are about something, full of um entrepreneurial men or men who are professional, right? Men who are actually about something. It's going to get harder. I even noticed making female friends as I got older got harder. I have a sprinkling of female friends from college, but for me to make new friends, oh my God, it's like pulling teeth. It's like pulling teeth, trying to like, hey girl, hey, yeah, oh, I noticed we're both on the board. Maybe we could have lunch sometime. Like, it's crazy. And then we'll have lunch and I'll like try to like, okay, maybe I can get a friendship out of this, like maybe it's really hard. It's hard to make adult female friends. And it's hard to be in a room or a campus full of men that are about something. But that's prime real estate. That's what is irking me about young women today. You're blowing it. You're blowing it. If you're between the ages of 18, so you're just getting to college, and 21, 22, graduating with an undergraduate degree, going to graduate school. So what we talking, 24, 25, maybe 26? Yeah, that's called the husband looking for years right in there. Because you have access to more young men that are about something, right? And here's what I suggest you do. I've always suggested that a woman date and marry a man slightly older than her. You can start at about 2 to 3 years and you can go up 7 years. To me, 7 years is the sweet spot. I do not recommend any woman dating or marrying a man that's more than 7 years older. I've always said that. But 2 to 3 years is really good. 5 years. So let's say you're a freshman in college or a sophomore in college and you know of a man that's a junior, senior, maybe he's a graduate student at that college. Yeah, that's the sweet spot. I met my husband when I was in Atlanta. I had graduated, I was working as a teacher, and he was in medical school. He was in medical school. And you don't think I was in that Atlanta consortium, like Clark Atlanta, Morehouse, Spelman, Morris Brown College, like I was in that little area. You don't think that was the cream of the crop? That's all I did. That's all I did was be like, what about you? What about you? That's all I did. I was like, I'm getting a husband out of this. And that's exactly what happened because I had the foresight to say, okay, undergraduate, yeah, I had my fun, right? And I think that's natural. I'm not going to ever discourage someone from, I just don't want you to be clean out in the streets because you're doing more damage than you are good. But Yeah, you're gonna have some fun. You're gonna go out with your girls and dress a little sassy, Because to me, I'm like, okay, get that out of your system a little bit. But that shouldn't last more than 2 or 3 years. You got women 35 that's talking about fun. Like, what? You need a mortgage. You need no. You need a stock, portfolio. You need to think about the future. 35? Oh, I'm still having so much fun, girl. I'm just out here having fun, and I'm dating 2 or 3 or 4 men, and they taking me here and flying me there, and I'm just having a ball. What? No, you're supposed to be, if it is your intention to get married, that's the road you should be on. And yeah, I'm 35, I'm 38, I'm 39. I got all the time in the world. I could get married, I could have a baby, and here's more than likely what's going to happen. And this is the unpopular opinion, but I'm just going to say it. Your biological clock is going to be like, there's something that your body was made to do, and we're not doing it. Like, what's happening? I'm kind of ready. I'm kind of ready to do this thing. Like, what do you think? Because that's kind of the main. That's what I was built to do. And then when you don't answer, it's going to knock louder. And if you feel that feeling, kind of like how I felt that feeling, and you don't have any strong prospects, you'll do what a lot of women out here are doing. And I'm just like, no, you know what they're doing? They're just going out here having babies. They're just having babies. They're not married. They're not in any real serious commitment. They're just having a baby. They're just having a baby because they're like, yeah, my biological clock has told me it's time. And oh, I've been dating this guy for about 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. Why not him? You will reach for someone who may not be, the person who should be the father of your child or that you should be married to. You'll just reach for anybody. You'll be more desperate because your body is pushing you to do something that it's designed to do. That's what your body's designed to do. And your chances of picking the wrong person is pretty high. Okay. How do I know? Because I did it. Because I did it. I chose one of 2 men that I was dating when I turned 30. And I had kind of made up my mind that by 30, I wanted to be married and on the route to having my first child. And so I picked one of 2 men that I was, talking to. I wasn't technically dating either. I was talking to them, getting to know them. And I went the direction of my now ex-husband. I went in his direction. And, we got married, supposedly out of love, right? But a lot of it was, I can be honest with you all. It was my clock was ticking. My clock is ticking. This guy has great potential. This guy, is going to be a good provider. And you know what? I'll take it. Like, honestly and truly, that's kind of what I thought. I'll take it. I'll take it. Why not? And there were so many things about him, so many red flags, so many reasons that I should not have married him. And I kind of knew that even before we, got married. However, that nature, that biology, it will win every time. Biology won and you zero. That's what's going to happen. Mm-mm. So if you prioritize when you're younger, doesn't mean you're going to meet your husband at 20. Doesn't mean you're going to marry your husband at 22. Doesn't mean you're going to have a baby by 23, right? Doesn't mean any of that. It just simply states, you know what? If it's my intention to get married and have a family one day, I really need to prioritize that sooner rather than later and not wait until 35 out here going on trips, going on cruises, getting drunk and, sleeping with guys on cruises and all this other foolishness. No, nope, because when that clock comes a knocking, you're probably not gonna make the greatest choice. You're gonna reach for the man that's there. You're just gonna he's the default guy. Can I be honest? He's just the default guy. Okay, well, I'm with you. I've been seeing you for a few months. It's you, you're the daddy. That's what you're gonna do. And that's probably a mistake for most people. And life may not be that great. So I want you to start prioritizing. So in a perfect world, and I've told my daughters this, In a perfect world, I would like to see them between 22 and 25, 26. I want them to really start prioritizing marriage. And that gives them time to get their education, right? Because I am all about that. I do want my daughters to have some form of job or career that could pay their bills, right? I'm not ever going to tell my daughter not to go to college, not to educate herself. One of my daughters wants to be a physician's assistant. I'm not going to tell her not to do that. I'm going to tell her, sure, honey, go to school, go to physician's assistant school. If you're with the young man you're with now, I really want you all to consider getting married. See? And you don't even have to have a baby right away. I would tell her, you all go ahead and get married and start building your life together. You're doing your thing, he's doing his thing, he's on his purpose and path, you're on your purpose and path, you're supporting each other. Two is better than one. So many reasons why you want to do this sooner rather than later. So one of those very practical reasons is because you are building something together. You're going to achieve wealth and prosperity faster if you're doing it with another person. Figure that, right? So if you're 22 and you've graduated and you've taken a job in your career and you have a young man that you're seeing and you're, considering him for marriage, he has his career. He graduates. He's now working in his career. You have both of those incomes in which to start building your life together. You have shared space, right? You have shared bills and all of that. And so you're moving ahead or moving along a little further. You all are able to start investing. You all are able to start saving. And you get married, and maybe you don't have children right away, but you are building something. You are creating legacy together. And two is better than one. And then in a perfect world, and I told my daughter this, yes, in a perfect world, I'd like for you to have a child right about 30, maybe sooner if you so choose. I had my first daughter at 30. That was the sweet spot. It really was. I wasn't in my 20s because I was rather foolish. I can admit that. I was rather selfish. I was rather, egocentric and self-centered. But right at about 30, that's when I really started to get serious about, you know what, life ain't all about me. Like, I need to learn to sacrifice. I need to learn to give, right? Yeah. Oh, she says, I have a lady on Instagram that says, so you're telling us to build and go 50-50. Here is what I'm telling you to do. So if you are young, you and the man that you're with, if you are both young, yes, I am telling you to build something together. But here's the conversation that you're going to have, because this is the conversation I had with my then husband. The conversation is, we will do what we do together. And as soon as we have children, you will take over the providing for the household. Like, can we be in agreement about that? That once we have children, and I, as the biological woman, who is designed to care about the children that I've carried in my body. Like, that's just how I'm wired. I'm going to care about the children more. I'm going to pay attention to more detail with the children because I'm the woman. So once that happens, this is the conversation I had with my then husband. So we're doing this together. We're building a life together. As soon as children enter into the picture, you will take over providing for us and the family. That's how that's going to work. We will both save, we will both invest, we will both pay bills in the home. But as soon as children come onto the scene, you will step up and you will provide for the family. And that's what happened. And that's what's happened for 22 years. So before you get your panties all in a bunch about what? Anita's telling us to go 50-50. No. It's not forever, my dears. It's until a child comes into the picture. And then, because you as a biological woman, you're designed to pay more attention to your children, to care more. You're more detail oriented. You're the one who can multitask. There are things you're designed to do with your children that your husband is not. But guess what? He is designed to do provide. So as soon as that happens, voila, you got it. That's what I'm asking you to do. So for those ladies who don't intend on having any children, right? Okay, then you may have an egalitarian. That's what it's called. That's the big fancy word, ladies. So when you and your husband are seen as equals, like, oh, we're equals. I don't want an equitable, like Anita's talking about. I want an equal partnership. It's called egalitarian. And there are some couples that I know right now that I see that they have no children, they're in their 30s, and they have an egalitarian relationship. And if that works for them, bravo. But if you plan on bringing any little people into the world, that will not work. You need to have an equitable relationship. I actually encourage that women have an equitable relationship even before children, but that's just me. But yes, you're both young. And for you to, expect a 22, a 23-year-old to take care of you is unrealistic. I'm just spitting facts. Okay? So unless you marry a man 7 years older, sure. If you're 22 and he's 29 and he's been in his career and he makes more money and he can pay all the bills, go for it. Go for it. I'm not going to steer you away from that. If you can get it, get it. But what I'm saying is, if you're both relatively young and you're starting out together and you're both a ball of potential, then yes, I'm asking you to do the practical thing and pool your resources together. Come together and create and build something together. But as soon as children come onto the scene, boop, you will provide. That's what that looked like. You will provide. So, okay, she says, what will be your advice for women in their very early 30s who didn't use the 20s to find a husband? Okay, so now we prioritize, right? We prioritize. We take everything in our life and we start prioritizing because that's what life is about. That's what people don't want to tell you. The feminist movement wants to sell you on the idea that you can have it all. You can't, not at the same time. No, you can't. Something will suffer. Something will suffer, my dears. Your marriage will suffer. Your children will suffer. Your job will suffer. Your looks will suffer. Your mental health will suffer. Your house will suffer. Your body will suffer. Something will suffer. I know some really smart crackerjack women, and they are great in their career. They happen to be married. They have children, but they're fat. They are completely out of weight, overweight. They have diabetes. They have all kind of health problems. See, something will suffer. You can't have it all at the same time. So now, this is what I suggest you do. You are going to make a list. If you're 30s, you're going to make a list of everything in your life. You're going to make a list of everything important to you. And I'm talking to people, your pets, your hobbies, your interests, your job, everything. And now you are going to prioritize that list. So if you want to get married, if you want to naturally birth your children without spending $30,000 on IVF or hiring a woman to carry a surrogate to carry your baby, you need some priorities. And so if marriage is now coming to the top of that priority list, get yourself together, get your mind together, and start becoming a wife. Move as a wife would move. Stop dating men that ain't your husband. That's at the top of the list. That's the first thing I always tell them. Stop dating these men that have no intention of marrying you or wouldn't make good husbands. That's the first thing you do. You stop entertaining men that aren't your husband. Number 2, clean up your Facebook and your Instagram. Make sure that every picture and video in there is of a certain standard. Remember, it's about your brand. Make sure your brand is wifey. See, my brand is wifey. That's why I'm always getting men falling in the DMs and doing the private messaging. I got 2 private messages just yesterday. And it's because when those men scroll over all of my posts, all of my pictures, heart, 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 heart. That's what they do, y'all. And they saying, ooh, this is wifey right here. Like that's what they thinking. This is my next wife. Okay? Period. But get that together. Get your mind together. Get your lifestyle together. Make sure that there's room in your life for a husband. So right now, I have 2 walk-in closets. My studio is one of them. That's where I'm at now. My other closet has half of the closet is full of clothes. Half of the closet is full of shoes. The other half of the closet is empty. That's where my husband's things go. See? Same with my bathroom. I have the master bedroom. I have the double sink bathroom. I only use my sink. The other side is for my husband. I make sure of it. I make sure there's space in the driveway. I make sure there's space in my schedule. I don't ever overschedule myself. So where would the husband go, Anita? Oh, there's spaces for him to go right here and right here. I can tuck the husband in because I've already created those spaces for the man that will be my husband. But that you gotta now prioritize. You gotta prioritize. So if you're in your 30s, you're prioritizing. You're prioritizing where you go, where you meet men. Y'all, let me tell you, just today, my cousin said, hey, I'm going to UVA's Black Alumni Weekend. I said, what? I said, when? She said, this weekend. I said, girl, I'm going. I'm there. Oh, I'm there. Right? Because you can best believe UVA Black Alumni Weekend, Anita is there. See, you got to put yourself places where there will be men and men that's about something, right? UVA graduated men and men who went on to other good schools and men who went on to having other good jobs. That's where you need to be. So this has to be your priority. If you're in your early 30s, you got to play a little bit of catch up, but you can do it. And you're not, like I said, number 1 rule, we're not dating anyone that's not our husband. We're not dating anyone that ain't about nothing. If his life ain't together, if he don't have all his own stuff, you should not be dating him. And I don't want to hear this mess. I got needs. I gotta have no. So you can just okay. You can take that self gratification or that here and now gratification. Stay right there. Stay where you are and see where you are in 10 years. You're gonna be in that same place. We don't settle for gratification. We settle for long-term satisfaction. It's not about today. It's about forever. It's about forever. That's the reason why I have been abstinent for almost 3.5 years. 3.5 years, y'all. You think I ain't got needs? I got a hell of needs. I got a whole lot of needs. Whole lot of needs. But you know what? The next man that see this body naked is my husband. The next man that touched this body is my husband. The next man that make me say, ooh, is my husband. Okay. You can be assured. And he gonna know it. He gonna be like, ooh, Anita. I mean, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Yes, it has. Yes, it has. But I'm saving myself for my husband. Now, in the meantime, I'm transmutating all of that sexual energy into writing books, into talking to y'all, working my coaching program, and doing my career as a therapist and working on my next course. I just transmutate that energy into something else. But you can best believe it's not going to be no dusty man laying in my bed talking about, oh, I got needs. And so I'll do this until my husband come along. No, because the energy you're on is not husband energy. It's on dusty energy. And that's what you're going to keep getting. So you're going to replace that dusty for another dusty, not a husband. See, because you cannot be in dusty man energy or, sexual gratification energy and attract the husband. No, we can't. So, yeah, but you can do it. You can do it. I've seen women turn 30, and if they did not prioritize marriage and family within 2 years, 3 years, they were married. So you can do it. You can do it. Okay? All right. So the man is moving in with you. Well, let's put it this way. In a perfect world, no, we are definitely buying our own home together. But again, this is about energy. We have to send an energy out to the universe that says there is room for him. That's all. Yes, in a perfect world, he has a home, I have a home, and he says, well, I guess we're gonna, rent our homes out and we're gonna buy our first home together. That that's probably what will happen. But the point of this exercise is you have to send this energy out into the universe that states, I am ready. I'm ready to receive, right? That's the energy you have to send out. And so you got to get ready. You have to get ready. So if you're using all the space in your home and you're thinking, oh, well, he and I aren't going to live here anyway. But again, it's like you're sending this mixed message energy that there's no space for him, right? So just get ready. Just get ready. I sleep on one side of my bed because the other side of my bed is for my husband. That's the energy that I have. I'm making room in my life for him. And so, like I said, men, they fall into the DM all the time. They go down my social media or my Instagram, and then, if that don't do it, because that's usually how most men display their interest. Love, 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 love. And then they'll do a comment here or there. And then if you don't approach them, because I'm not, okay, I don't do that, then eventually they'll come into the DM. So I love that picture you posted. Oh my goodness. And then they'll finally reach out. But ladies, do not reach out to them. You let them like and comment on as many pictures as they want. You are the girl. You are the girl all day. Do not respond to no likes of the pictures or comments. If he wants you, he have to come to you. He have to come and get you. That's it. So let me give you a few practical reasons why I'm giving this very unpopular advice about prioritizing marriage and family when you're younger. Okay. So these are some very practical reasons. And because I know women love their feelings and their emotions, they may not appreciate this, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. So, number one, nature, biology, the way your body is designed. So I believe the most recent science says that a woman's most fertile age is between 19 and 29. 19 years old and 29 years old. That's when you're at the peak of your fertility. It does not mean you cannot have children after that. I had my children at what, 30, 31. I just turned 31, and then at 34. So 31 had a single birth, 34 had twins. But by, 34, I was done. I had my tubes tied and that was it. The shop was closed. However, 35 and above, it starts to get a little bit harder. And again, it does depend woman to woman because everyone always says to me, well, I'm 40 and I had a healthy natural birth, or my mom had me at 42 and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not disputing any of that. But what I am telling you is the science. And regardless of how you feel about science, I mean, it's what it is, right? You feeling a way about it isn't going to change it. That's the science. And so, depending on the woman, depending on, her when she got her first period, depending on if she has any female issues, if she's ever been on any chemical birth control. I mean, there's so many factors. But the science says 19 to 29 is your optimum fertile period, right? You shouldn't have any problems. You should be able to, and if you're healthy and of a healthy weight and you don't have any pre-existing conditions, you should be able to get pregnant easily and you should be able to carry a baby to term. That's what the science tells us. Okay. But as we get a little older, 35, 40, 45, we're now in the land of IVF. We're now in the land of multiple births because of IVF. We're now in the land of high blood pressure. We're now in the land of preeclampsia and diabetes brought on by pregnancy, right? We're in the land of having more problems. And I haven't even begun to talk about problems with the baby. I haven't begun to talk about your baby being born with Down syndrome or any other condition. I haven't even begun talking about that. But, this is what the science tells us. So again, regardless of how you feel about it, this is what it is. And so if you want to have a natural occurring birth, as I did, I had a natural occurring single birth. I had a natural occurring twin birth. I just had twins. That was it. I ovulated 2 eggs, and both of those eggs got fertilized. That's what happened. I did not have 6 eggs put into my body to see how many would take. None of that happened. I did not spend a dime. I did not spend a dime to have my 3 children. So if you want to go that route, right? Because I want to keep my $30,000. I want to save my $30,000 for my children to go to college. Then yes, I want you to consider prioritizing marriage and family when you're a little younger. Okay? So that's the first reason, the first practical reason. You may not love it, but it is what it is. The second practical reason is, as I've stated before, you'll have your best chance of having an eligible pool of men that are about something, men that are on a road, a path, a purpose to somewhere, right? You're going to be exposed to those men, especially if you're college educated. College, oh man, it's a smorgasbord. It's a smorgasbord. College, graduate school, dental school, law school, medical school. Pick one. Pick one. You know that this man is going on to bigger and better things. He at least has that part of his life together. And let me tell you, ladies, it's important to have his life together. You all are putting too much emphasis on love and butterflies and feelings. No, marry a man who has the potential to earn. Yes, I loved my husband, but I also knew he had the potential to take care of a family. Because guess what? As we talked about earlier, as soon as a child came along, Anita was done working. I was like, "Oh, I'm out of this. I'm out of this equation," and he took over, and that's where we stayed for a while. So well, we stayed there until we were divorced and beyond. So yes, marry a man that has good earning potential, good steady earning potential, a man with good work ethic. You can fall in love. This is what my grandmother always told me. You can fall in love with a rich man just like you can fall in love with a poor man. And so, yeah, if you want to have a good life, if you want to have stability and security for you and your children, prioritize a man that's about something. Prioritize a man that has a career, that is a good hard worker, is a steady earner. And even if he's not a doctor or a lawyer, but he's willing to go out every day and bust his hump for you and his children. Marry that guy. Fall in love with that guy. Okay? And make sure that's a good guy. Make sure he's a a good moral character, high value guy. So not just money, but that he's actually about something. All right? But yes, that's a part of it too. Your chances of meeting men like that are better when you're in college or in school or some sort of trade or whatever. These are men just really getting going. They're just really getting going in whatever path that they're taking. And if you are approaching them like I approached my husband, so I was like, you know what? You want to take this whole career to the next level? You want to marry me. You want to marry me. You know that song by Beyonce? It's called Upgrade You. I could have wrote that song. Like, that's my mantra. That's what a good feminine woman does. She upgrades a man, and not in the Bob the Builder way. Not in that way. See, y'all get that confused when I say that. No, not in the Bob the Builder way. I'm talking about the energy, the idea, the essence, the inspiration. That's what a good feminine woman does. That's how she benefits a man. And so I made him work harder. I gave him ideas and he ran with them. I inspired him to do more and be more. And just every single year, make more, make more. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. Maybe I can start my own practice. Maybe I can that's what he was doing year after year after year. And what was I doing? My part. I was playing my part, my role. I was making sure he didn't have anything to worry about at home. I got all of this. You're coming home to a clean home. You're coming home to being well fed. You're coming home to children who are mannerably and clean. You're coming home to a good looking wife, a fit wife, right? He don't have a care in the world at home. But what I do need you to do is go out in that world and slay dragons. And then bring what you win at, bring that home. That's what I need you to do. So yes, that's reason number two. That's your greatest chance at meeting a man that's about something, is when you're in these environments, these school environments, dental school, law school, undergraduate, graduate school. You have your greatest chance. I mean, it's like a smorgasbord. Like I said, I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. Everywhere I turned, there was a fine man, that was in school getting educated, a fine Kappa, a fine Q, a fine Alpha. Everywhere I looked, I was like, whoa, I just need to pick one. That was it. But if you over 35, if you over 40, and I want y'all, if you watching this right now, put in the comments the last time you went someplace and you saw, as far as the eye could see, a bunch of eligible men like that. Men that was about something is rare, is real rare. So I want young women, take advantage of this time. Don't blow those years partying, drinking, smoking, sleeping around. Like, really watch these dudes. Like, really try to assess, okay, which one of these dudes make a really good husband? Let me look at his family. Let me look at what he got. Let me look at, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay. Reason number three, practical reason number three. Depending on the age of your parents, right? And I know for me, my mom always said, you need to get going. She was on me from 25 because my parents were young when they had me. That's what's so crazy. My parents, I believe, were relatively young when they had me. My mother was 20 when she had my brother and 24 when she had me. But she wanted to be a younger grandparent. And so, depending on the age of your parents, you also don't want to wait until you're 40 because you won't get the full benefit of having your parents be healthy, active, happy grandparents. Like if you wait too late and your parents become aged and they're not able to be helpful, they're not able to really pour into the life of your children, that's a practical reason to say, I don't want to wait too long. I don't want to wait until I'm 50 to have a baby. My mother is 70 or 80. So, and that's a practical reason. I know a lot of people push back on that, but that's a practical reason. I wanted to raise my children with my parents. Can I be honest with you? And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. My oldest daughter is 22. My youngest twins are 19. And my parents saw that. They saw my children grow up. My mother helped me raise my children after my divorce. And my ex's mother, she raised our children. So they got all of this grandparent love, all of this aunt and uncle love, and they got all of that. They really did get a village raising them because my parents, thankfully, were young enough, and I was relatively young enough so that they could be a part of that. So yes, if you want your children to have that wonderful grandparent experience, don't wait until you're 40, 45, and again, it depends on the age of your parents. Some people have told me that they have older parents. They're like, yeah, my mom didn't have me till 35. And I'm like, wow. And then you wait till 35. She's 70. So really? I'm like, really? Okay. Okay. But again, another practical reason why you want to prioritize marriage and children when you're younger. Financially, we've talked a little bit about the financial reason that I want you to grow and learn and build, learn each other, learn about life. These are things you can do as a couple. And even if you don't have children right away, you are, pouring into each other. You're creating a life together, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so I want you to create a financial plan together and figure out what that's going to look like. Start investing together. Start laying that foundation, that legacy, that family wealth foundation together. Start that together even before you have children. Two is better than one. That's just what it is. So there are two people's incomes pouring into a house as opposed to you, your little dog, you paying $1,500 plus a month in rent by yourself. And yes, life is harder. Life is now harder because you're not sharing in anything. So, yes, I want you to come together with a good man, a solid man, a man that you love, a man that you respect. That's even more important. And build something together. But like I said, have that conversation that says, so as soon as children come, you will take over providing. Like that's the conversation you're going to have so that you can do what moms do. That's it. All right. I'm going to look at some of these comments. She says 100. I'm under 35. Listen to her. Thank you, Adrian. Yeah, you're so right. She says this information was not taught and accessible like it is today. Yep. Yeah. So please, 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 if you're between the ages of 20 and 30, just listen. It's something to consider, right? That's it. I mean, it's something to consider. And maybe you need to be a little bit older before you really start going, do I want to get married? Do I want to have a family? And a lot of 20-year-olds, here's what I find is so interesting. So when I posted this in another group, a lot of 20 to 35-year-old women were screaming, screaming at me. I don't even know myself. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to be a mother. I'm not ready to be a wife and blah, blah. They're just screaming about how immature they are and they're not ready. But then it's like out of another side of their mouth, younger people today love to talk about how, like they love to call older people idiots. Like, oh, and we're so much better than you all. We know so much more. There's so much more technology. We know how to work the iPhone. We know how to do this. We know how to. I'm like, okay, but my generation got married. My generation, had children. My generation, like what? So it's not a tit for tat, but I'm like, to me, if you want to be mature, if you want to be a grown up, be responsible. Like be responsible for something and someone else. To me, that's real. That's 100. That's what real growing up is. This whole idea that we're just so great and really? Because y'all can't even do this. You sure? You sure? So I'm just saying. But they say in one side of their face out, oh, we got it going on and we're doing this and that and the third. But then when I suggest, oh, prioritize getting married young, prioritize having, I'm too young. I'm too immature. I'm not ready for that. I don't know myself. Like it's so crazy to me. I'm like, okay. But let me tell you, that's a way to get to know yourself. I always tell people this. My children are my greatest teachers. They are my greatest teachers. They made me who I am. Being married and having my children is what made me. So, ladies, this is a ruse that you need to know yourself. You need to have all this time to get to know yourself. No, you need to live. That's how you gonna know yourself. I'm 54 and I still ain't figured it all out. Now I know more than some of y'all, okay, but I don't know everything because I have not figured it all out. I'm living and I'm learning and I'm doing things and I'm practicing things and I'm learning as I go. That's what life requires. You're never, and women even now that I see, oh, I'm 33, I'm 35, I'm not ready to have a baby. You never, in your head, you're never going to be ready to have a baby. But if that's what you want, if your heart is leading you there, just do it. With a husband now, okay? Just do it, right? I have several married women, 33, 34, 35. Oh, I don't think I'm ready. Nobody is. Nobody is, but just do it. Just do it. You will learn as you go. You will make mistakes. You'll never not make mistakes. But if God willing, you won't make the same mistakes over and over. But that's life. That's life. You've got to do it to learn it. You've got to do it to grow up. You've got to go out there and do it. And that's what I'm encouraging young women to do. And even if you're not a young woman, there is hope for you yet. Like I said, it's simply a mindset shift. You have to shift that mindset into, I am a wife. I am ready to be a wife. I am a wife. I am becoming someone's wife. I am going to act as such. That is the brand that I carry. I don't run around saying that too often because it just is. Like, I don't need words to say that. My life says that. My social media says that. The people who know me say that. I'm the last person who's going to tell people that. Everybody else knows that. That's the type of energy you got to be on. Hey, Amber, happy Sunday. I'm glad you were able to join me. Okay, I'm looking at some of my, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking at some of my Instagram. Yes, wasn't taught in the past and appreciate your transparent and respectful delivery. Thank you so much. For women that have crossed their 30s, are there specific actions that should be done on a weekly basis to make up for lost time? Like I said, you are just going to rebrand yourself. You're going to rebrand yourself. And the brand is wife. If that's what you want, the brand is mother and wife. And preparing your life and yourself for that. And what did I say was the number one thing? This is the number one thing. Don't take my advice if you don't want to. You know, it's your life. Do what you want. But the number one thing is you will stop engaging with men that aren't your husband. That's the number one thing, right? So when the F boy or the confused guy or the artist, you know, anybody, oh, I'm a would-be rapper, I'm a would-be artist, I have dreams, you know, that guy. Don't engage with him. Like, don't engage with him. If he don't have no steady form of income, if he living at home with somebody else, if he don't have no vehicle, if he's not, don't engage with him. Because he's not husband material. Can I be honest? That's gonna hurt some people's feelings, but it's the truth. Right. You can't be nobody's husband. You can't be nobody's father for real. You can't even take care of yourself. What you are going to require is that a man be responsible. You're going to require that a man take care of himself and you. And I know y'all haven't been told this. How many women, if I had $1 for every woman I worked with in the last year who was taught, you got to take care of yourself. You can't depend on no man. You can't be. Then what you want to get married for then? Like all the women and those same women, I want to get married. I want to have a family one day. Why? Because you've been taught the opposite of that. That you can't trust men, that you can't rely on men. You got to take care of yourself. That's not what marriage is, boo-boo. That's not what marriage is. Marriage is a covenant. It is a interdependency. We will rely on each other, perhaps in different ways, but that's, and I'm gonna tell you right now, and men that date me know this. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna rely on you. I'm gonna depend that you come through. And thank God I've never had a man not do it. Because that's the energy I lead with. You darn right I'm gonna ask. You darn right I'm gonna lean. I'm gonna expect you to be there and support me in more ways than one. You darn right. But see, you're being taught the opposite. You can't depend on nobody. You got to have your own money. You better hide some of that money. And you, okay, keep doing that. Like I said, keep being on that. Keep being on that. We're gonna see where you get to, because that's not what marriage is. That's not what a genuine, real marriage is about. It's not. You have to be interdependent. You have to work together. You have to be a good team. I talked about this in the book. Be a good team. And as long as he's quarterbacking and you catching them throws, woo, be a good team. That's it. That's all I ask. Just be a good team. And that's me. That's me, baby. You give me a good quarterback, I'm catching all them throws. All them throws, okay? But that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. But it's a mindset shift. If you're still in this mindset that you got to take care of yourself, you got to look after yourself, see, that's what you're going to keep doing. Like I said, Anita don't do that. I'm like, let me see who my next husband is. Let me see the value he adds to my life. Let me see the value I add to his life. Let me find my purpose partner. Like, that's what I'm on. You darn right I'm leaning. And I let a man know that. Yeah, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask. I don't know what these other women are doing. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask. So, but that's it. You gotta get that stuff out of your mind. And you got other people that they're impressing that upon you. So it's not even that you didn't get these messages from mom or from auntie or grandma. It's like your peers. Your peers are y'all are all in the same boat. All in the same boat. Yeah, girl, you can't. And you better hide some money. You better put some money away. You better have a secret account that he don't know nothing about. And but that no, that's not marriage. What y'all doing? And that's why we in the trouble we in. Or you out no, you can't depend on no man. Don't ask him because he ain't gonna have it. That's the dusty man y'all messing with. Like, can I be honest? Why are you even with a man? Why are you sleeping with a man that you can't rely on? Help me understand. What's happening? Why are you with him? That you can't ask him, babe, my tire is flat. I can't tell you how many times I have reached out to a man, babe, my tire is flat. And, I called AAA. I'm not sure if they're going to get here in time. So I could leave the car here, but I got somewhere to be. Okay, well, what do you, and this would happen every time. What do you want to do? What do you want? Okay, here's the two things. Here's what could happen. I could come over there, put the spare on, take you to Sam's or take you somewhere to get a tire, or we could leave it for AAA. I could take you to work. You call me when you get off. I could take you back home, and then we get like every single time. Every single time. And for the record, in the last 3 years, I have blew out 6 tires. 6 tires, y'all. I don't know how I do it. And every time, whoever it is that I'm dating is like, what is with you and these tires? Like, why are you so hard on your tires? But I am. I just am. And I just be blowing the tires out. I'll be nipping the curb or the tire just be going flat. But I'm going to be honest, I have never put a spare on. I have never, it's always somebody that I know or that I'm seeing that's like, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want me to take you here? Do you want me to get you tired? Do you want me to bring it to you? Like every single time. So yeah, I want you to lean. I want you to lean. That's the feminine way. Okay, she says, it's true. I don't condemn my mom, but those were her exact words to me growing up. Due to 2 abusive marriages she survived. That's a lot of women. The independent mindset will keep you single out of fear. It will. It will. And it just makes me so sad. It makes me so sad because this is the result. This is the result. And I believe your moms, they meant well. They meant well. But here's the part that they didn't tell you. Here's the part that they didn't tell you. Daughter, I'm telling you this because I messed up. I'm telling you this because I didn't know how to choose a really good man. I'm telling you this because I chose an abusive man. I chose an alcoholic. I chose a pornography addicted or a drug addicted man. I chose a man who wouldn't work. I chose him, that's what they left out, that they messed up. And I remember having that conversation with my daughters. I think the oldest was like 17. My youngest daughter was like 14, 13 or 14. And I was like, I messed up. I remember it. I was like, I did not make a good choice when I chose your dad. He was not the right choice for me. He was not the best fit man for me. And I messed up. See? But I was not going to perpetuate that cycle of fear. I was not going to tell them, oh, because I got a divorce, your dad cheated on me, then all these men cheat. All these men cheat. You can't trust any of these men. And another thing, you need to go out here and you need to make as much money as you can because you're going to need to take care of yourself. Because if your husband ever cheat on you and he divorced you, what are you going to do? No, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that. I was like, I made a bad choice. I made a mistake. I chose someone, when my biological clock was ticking, and he was one of 2 choices that I could make. I thought it was the better of the 2. It wasn't. Okay. And it did not work out. But I have preached marriage and family to my children from day one. I just want them to make better choices. And that was the end all be all lesson. Choose well. Choose better than I did. That's the lesson. I wasn't going to preach, all men cheat. No, they don't. No, they don't. I just happened to choose a man who did. Like if these women were being honest with you all, that's what they would say. I made bad choices. But instead of owning it, right? We project our limitations onto our daughters. And we got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. No, I made a bad choice. I chose two no good men. I chose two abusive men for whatever reason, for my trauma, for my desperation, my biological clock, or whatever my reason was. But we got to own it. We got to own it. That's how we're going to heal it, right? Our moms have to be strong enough to say, I didn't choose well. I didn't make the best choice in men. And remember, I told you that in the first book, that most women don't choose well. That's why I wrote that book. I wanted to teach women how to choose a really good man. And then you have part 2, Do Well, A Feminine Woman's Guide to Relationship Success. Okay, so let's say you did choose a really good guy. Let's say you believe you made a really good choice. And now you need to deepen those skills. You need to go deeper within yourself as a feminine woman. You need to make sure that you're showing up as your best. You need to make sure you're not doing things that are totally turning the man off, that are totally annoying him to no end, right? You need to make sure of that. So check out the book on Amazon. It is over there right now. But yes, I know this is a very, very unpopular opinion. And I stand by it. I stand by it. And I've been called all kinds of crazy things. I've had younger women, oh, these older women, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all are bitter, y'all are jealous. I hear that one a lot. We're so jealous. Older women are so jealous of younger women. Really? Well, I was a younger woman and it was fun, But can I be frank? I would not change. I would not be 24 as opposed to 54. I would not. I would not. I love my life. I love all the lessons that I've learned. I love the peace that I have. I love that I'm not full of all the drama and all the chaos all the time. I love that I love myself. I love that my self-worth and my self-love and my self-respect is at an all-time high. So no, sweetheart, I'm not jealous. I'm not telling you this to ruin your life. I'm telling you this to save your life, to make sure that when you're my age, you have a life that you really love. That's why I'm telling you this. Okay? So you all know, Auntie Anita, I'm not going to tell you anything that's going to hurt you. And how about this? You don't have to take my word as gospel. It's just an idea. It's something for you to think about. That's it. I'm here because I'm a gardener. I'm a real life gardener, but I'm a gardener of people's hearts and minds. And I plant little seeds. I like to just plant little seeds, and maybe those seeds grow into something. Maybe they don't. But this is just, I get it. It's an unpopular opinion, but I just want to plant little seeds. I want to give you a different perspective, especially if you're between the ages of 20 and 30. Okay? Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I hope to be doing this every Sunday, taking questions and answers here on YouTube and Instagram. And thank you for joining me, ladies, so much. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. As always, stay open to love.